We definitely want the best production out of the land we have, and we want to do the best by our animals. Definitely striving for efficiencies is priority, and make sure that our investment is returning, because that's also important.
Hi, I'm Geoff.
And I'm Sam. This is Humpty Doo, and we're at Nangus, which is between Gundagai and Wagga. So we run between 1,200 and 1,400 breeding ewes, just dependent upon the season. The reason we wanted to learn more about our on-farm carbon was a few years ago I attended an event where there was a guest speaker who was a consultant in the carbon space. He discussed how not knowing your carbon number could affect you and your product as a farmer. That really was the catalyst. It was quite frightening, some of the things he was saying, and I thought for us being first generation farmers, we can't wait. We have to stay abreast of this information in order to be able to make good business decisions moving forward.
The challenges that producers face in terms of low emissions within the supply chains is around getting their production systems efficient, and that'll drive down their emissions. So when farmers are looking at lowering their emissions profile on their farm, actually understanding your production data becomes really important. So the use of technology on this farm in particular is enabling better decision making around production efficiencies.
Data is key. You need to know live weights. You need to know what the weights are when you're selling your animals. We've purchased a draft weigh scale, which is important because knowing the size of your animals at any point in time of their life cycle is key to giving you a more accurate representation of your carbon emissions.
We're on a pasture program and improving all the time. So the scales and the tag reader, really it's been an eye-opener because it's a huge cost to put in our pastures. But I had lambs this year that went on to a pasture and they're putting on between 400 to 600 grams a day, and it was just unbelievable. So you know that our investment that we are doing is working, and it's showing us in real-time data, and it allows you to project forward on your daily weight gain so that we can go through to the abattoirs on a certain date, and we can already pre-book in say 200 or 300 lambs in one hit because you know your projection of the daily intake and the daily weight gain.
Another data tracking tool we use is AgriWeb, so we use that to keep track of all aspects of the farm. And it's reinforced to us that when we do something on farm, whether it be feed, fertilise, plants, whatever it may be, record that at the time so that we're not trying to do things, a month in arrears or 3 months in arrears. The data allows us to know that we're making the right choices as well. It means that it's a no-brainer for us.
So what we have seen within the red meat supply chains and actually locally here is that a number of producers have calculated their carbon emissions profiles in partnership with their end users. So these supply chain partners are not looking for a particular outcome. What they're looking for is to understand your number and then working towards lowering that over time. So we need to understand our production data, we need to understand our financial data, and out of that will flow our carbon emissions data. How do we lower the carbon emissions, but at the same time we're increasing profitability. So that becomes this production efficiency equation, which is fundamentally how we want to keep improving our farms year after year.
Another thing, we've also delineated an area and fenced that off and planted 1,000 trees in there. We are embarking on another tree planting project which will be a part of the carbon scheme, which may in the future mean that we will receive some carbon credits, which is exciting for us. It's good to stay on the front foot rather than come at things being reactive.
When we look at farms like this and what the Pollacks have done with planting trees, obviously natural capital is really important for the farmers themselves, but even just in terms of supply chain. Having another credential against the product that you're putting into that supply chain, you've got customers out the other end who are looking for that credential. Maybe not willing to pay for it, but definitely going to select your product above another person's product.
My advice to other farmers and the people that I do look up to, and the old school guys, is there is new things now available that are able to help you make the right decision, early decisions.
So I would really encourage farmers to try and come on board. Start it nice and slow and steady. You're not under any pressure at the moment to change anything you're doing. Really, all that happened was it reinforced that we're actually doing good quality farming practices, and our emission number was quite good.
With the red meat producers that I've been working with, actually calculating our emissions hasn't been a big deal. It's actually, if you have your production data, which we normally do at home, and that's probably the first point of call for farmers, it's actually an easy thing to do. There's plenty of tools out there, there's plenty of advice out there, whether that's with the local land services or New South Wales DPI or any of your supply chain partners, your banks and the red meat processors you're selling your product to. They're all here to help, so I would encourage people to go and engage with them and ask them what they need and where it is going to be in the next 3 to 5 years.